For a lot of people, it's the pace of delivery that makes the problem in the presentation. They start to talk too fast for too long. They run out of gas, they run out of air, they run out of patience with the audience, and the audience runs out of patience with them. Sound like a familiar problem? I'm Jerry Sandusky. That's Jerry with a G. And in this edition of Rules of Engagement, I'll show you how to change your pace so that you sound and feel comfortable and confident and are able to influence the room without exhausting the room in your next presentation. One of the more common problems I run into in dealing with coaching clients is they start to talk too fast for too long in presentations. They get going at this ridiculously fast pace and they try to keep it up until they run completely out of breath, and then they take this huge breath because they have run out of gas, and so has the audience. Notice what happens if I talk for a protracted period of time at a very quick pace and I keep flooding words your way and I don't take a breath. If I don't take a breath, you don't take a breath. If you don't take a breath, you run out of air, I run out of air, and we're both ready to pass out a minute into the presentation. What happens when you're talking too fast is almost always that you're not breathing often enough. The easiest way to change your pace of delivery is to change the place of your pauses. So if you're one of those people who finds themselves talking too fast for too long in a presentation because the adrenaline takes over and takes away, you almost feel like the presentation is taken away from you instead of you giving the presentation, videotape yourself and notice where you're breathing. And I'm almost willing to bet you'll find that your breaths are spaced very far apart. And what happens is you're flooding the words in there, you're erasing the words in there, trying to get as many words as possible before the next possible breath. Instead, just shorten up your breath cycle. So you talk for a little while in phrases. You don't have to speak in perfect sentences. Breathe, and then continue in with the conversation. You'll notice just by shortening your breaths and shortening the breath cycle, you slow down your delivery. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be certain segments of the presentation where you don't talk a little bit faster, you get excited about something, you get pumped up, and that's fine. After you breathe, you can change your pace. It's not really talking fast that wears out the audience. It's talking fast the entire time of the presentation that wears out the audience. You have to vary your speeds. Fast is good for a little while. Slow it down for a little while. Speed it up for a little while. And the way you do that is to shorten your breathing cycle. So if you notice in your presentation, start to finish, you go really fast all the time, I can almost promise you, you are not breathing often enough. Take more breaths, speak in shorter phrases, and you'll notice you slow things down. And for your audience, you'll sound more comfortable, more in control, and as soon as you notice the audience feels more comfortable, you'll feel more comfortable. And once you have that going on, well, the rest, as I like to say, the hay's in the barn.